My name is Isabel Daza. It's getting me emotional, but I'm gonna get through this. In the past few months, maybe it's because I just gave birth, so a lot of people have been reaching out to me thinking that maybe I've been going through postpartum, and they've been opening up to me about how they've been feeling and what they've been going through. And a lot of these people are people that I care about. My cousins, my relatives, my best friends, and they were all telling me that either they went through depression, they're going through depression, or they're going through something and they can't explain it and they're too ashamed to talk about it. And it was a common denominator amongst all of them, being ashamed. And I don't know what it was about me that they felt the need to share and they felt the need to open up. And I kept thinking, why are you ashamed if you need help? And we look at, let's say, cancer, and we think there are charity events for cancer and people talk about it, and there are communities behind this. It's an amazing support system, but why is it when it comes to mental illness and depression, nobody wants to talk about it? So I was asking my husband, I said, I don't know why me? Why do people keep telling me? Like, am I supposed to do something about it? Why are they telling me their story? And Adrian, my husband, he said, you don't know why they're telling you? Because you ask them how they're going through and they share, and you listen to them. And I didn't know what that meant, listening to them, because for me, it was just me making kwento. And then it got me thinking, and then I just messaged my friend, one of the organizers, we have to do something about mental health. And it just went from there. I guess I'm here today because I was so afraid to talk because I felt like I didn't go through it. I wasn't diagnosed directly with clinical depression, but I felt like I don't need to have gone through it to be sensitive to it. I want to remove the stigma that mental illness, anxiety, depression is something that we need to be ashamed about. I want to be a voice of my generation and to be heard that this is an epidemic and more people are affected by mental illness and depression than cancer and heart disease than you could ever imagine. And yet, nobody really talks about it. It's amongst us, but God forbid anybody find out that we're not living this perfect life. And I guess I'm here today because I am a social media influencer, and recently I went to this concert of Jessie J, and she sang this song and she sang a line and she said, "It's okay not to be okay." And that really broke me because I felt like I wasn't alone. And not being alone is so important when you're going through this. And you're so pressured to keep up this facade of living a perfect life, of being on social media, knowing the latest trends, having the best outfits, showing everyone that you're okay. When you're not, when you go home and you're so uncontented with what you have, even though you have an amazing life, because social media does that. It generates this jealousy and it generates this, I'm not good enough. I'm not as pretty, I'm not as thin, I'm not traveling as much. And you have this anxiety, and with me, I felt like I need to be relevant, I need to be talked about, I need to post something today, otherwise people will forget me, I won't have a career. It's just this anxiety that traps you. And if I didn't have my amazing friends and my family and my support system and sports to tell me that you're gonna get through this, I don't know where I would be. That's why I wanted to be here today, and I wanted to support this cause because I feel like we have to start somewhere and we have to talk about it. Mental illness and depression is amongst us. In my group of friends and family alone, every single person that I've talked to about this talk today said, I want to be there, I want to support you. With social media, I'm not going to say that it's the most awful thing on earth because social media and Instagram has helped us with a lot. But what I just want to say is that this is just a fraction of our reality. I can't imagine being a teenage girl growing up in this generation, looking up at influencers and bloggers and wanting that life, and then going home and feeling like I don't have it. And maybe this can lead to mental illness and depression and anxiety. Whole point of being here today was to inspire someone, one of you, to talk to the person you love and ask them, are you okay? And when I mean talk, I don't mean like send them a message on Instagram and troll somebody and be like, haha, look what she's wearing, lol. I mean, really connect with them and feel their relationship. How are you doing with your mom? How are you doing with your brother? How are you doing with your friend? And validate them and say, I hear you, I see you, I feel you, and you're not alone. And it's okay to not be okay sometimes, but we're gonna get through this. Mental illness and depression, it's around us, and if we just took the time and asked people how they felt, they'd be willing to share and they'd be willing to talk to you. I just want to leave with that message. Just talk about it. Just ask one person, make that connection and say, how are you today? How are you feeling? How is your relationship? And let's remove that stigma that this is something to be ashamed of, because it's not. This is something that needs to be talked about, and people need to be heard. And maybe we can save a life. Thank you.